The sun was setting behind the mountains when our helicopter took off. We were looking for Jim Bennett, a hunter who hadn't come home in 3 days. His wife was worried. I gripped my radio as we flew over the thick green forest. The trees below looked like tiny broccoli from up high. 10 more minutes of light, said Mike, our pilot. Then we gotta head back. I nodded, scanning the land with my binoculars. We had already flown for 2 hours without seeing anything. My eyes were tired. "Wait! Over there!" shouted Sarah, pointing to a clearing about half a mile ahead. "I saw movement." Mike turned the helicopter toward the spot. My heart started beating faster. Maybe we would find Jim after all. As we got closer, I saw something moving between the trees. At first, I thought it was a bear standing up. But then I realized it was much taller, at least 8 feet high. "What is that?" I whispered, even though only my team could hear me. The thing was walking on 2 legs, moving fast despite the rough ground, and it was carrying something heavy. "Get the camera!" I yelled to Sarah. She grabbed our video camera and started filming. The creature stepped into a patch of light and we all gasped. It looked like a person, but bigger and covered with dark hair, and in its arms was a body wearing bright orange, the same color as Jim's hunting jacket. "That can't be real," Mike said, his voice shaking. That's not possible." But we were all seeing it. The creature looked up at our helicopter, and for a second I swear it looked right at me. Its eyes reflected the light like an animal's. "Should we go lower?" asked Mike. I thought hard. If that was Jim down there, we needed to help him. But something felt wrong. Very wrong. "Follow it," I said, "but stay back. Don't get too close." The creature started moving faster, heading toward a thick part of the forest where we couldn't see the ground. "We're losing it," Sarah cried, still filming. "Mark these spots on the map," I told Mike. "We'll send a ground team tomorrow." As we circled the area, I couldn't stop thinking about what we had seen. Was it a man in a costume? A bear that just looked strange from above? Or something else? Something that wasn't supposed to exist? The radio crackled. Base camp was calling us back. It was too dark to keep searching safely. "We have to go," Mike said. I nodded, but I couldn't take my eyes off the forest below. Whatever we saw was still down there, moving in the darkness with Jim. "We'll come back tomorrow," I promised. But I wasn't sure what we would find when we did. That night, none of us could sleep. We watched the video over and over. Each time it looked less like a bear and more like the thing people whisper about but never expect to see for real. The next morning, 5 of us hiked into the forest. The air was cold and wet. Birds were quiet, which felt strange. I led the way with a map showing where we had seen the creature. Officer Miller came too, along with Dr. Torres, who studies animals, and 2 men with dogs who help find lost people. "The dogs are acting funny," said Rob, one of the handlers. His big brown dog kept stopping and sniffing the air, then whining. "They smell something they don't like." We walked for 3 hours before finding the first clue. There were marks in the mud, not like any footprints I'd seen before. They were huge, almost twice as big as my boot, with 5 toes spread wide apart. "That's not a bear," Dr. Torres said, taking pictures with her phone. She put a ruler next to the print. "It's 18 inches long. No known animal in these woods makes a print like this." Officer Miller looked worried. "Could be a hoax, someone with big fake feet trying to scare people." I wasn't so sure. The prints were deep, like whatever made them was very heavy. And they led right to where we saw the creature on our video. We followed the tracks until we found broken branches on the bushes. Some were snapped high up, at least 8 feet off the ground. There were also dark red spots on some leaves. "That's blood," said Officer Miller, taking samples in a small tube. "Human or animal, we'll find out." Just past noon, we found Jim's camp. His tent was torn on one side. His sleeping bag was dragged outside. Food cans were crushed and thrown around. It looked like a fight had happened here. Jim was a big guy, said Rob. 6'2", strong. He wouldn't go down easy. The dogs started barking at something in the trees. We all turned and froze. For a second, I thought I saw something big move behind a thick pine tree, but when we got closer, nothing was there. That evening, we showed our video to more people. Dr. Torres brought her friend who knows all about monkeys and apes. He watched the video 20 times, his face getting more confused each time. "It's not a bear," he said. "Bears don't walk like that on two legs for that long. And it's not a person in a suit. The movements are too smooth, too natural." "So, what is it?" I asked. He shook his head. "I don't know, but I can tell you what it looks like. It looks like stories I've heard all my life but never believed. Some people thought we made it all up. Others said we saw a criminal who hurt Jim. A few whispered it might be the thing people have reported seeing in these woods for hundreds of years. The blood tests came back. It was Jim's blood on those leaves. The search got bigger. More people came to help look, but also more cameras and news people. Everyone wanted to know, what really took Jim into the dark woods? The weight of the camera feels reassuring in my hands as I adjust the focus, capturing every moment of our team's preparation. It's been 2 weeks since our helicopter footage went viral, unleashing a storm of controversy, mockery, and unexpected allies. The grainy images of what we saw carrying Jim's body have been analyzed, debunked, authenticated, and dissected by everyone from university professors to YouTube conspiracy theorists. But only our small team knows the full truth of what we've discovered since that first sighting. Discoveries that have transformed us from rescuers to investigators on the edge of something profound. "Thermal imaging is online," whispers Dr. Eliza Thornton, the primatologist who contacted us 3 days after our footage was released. Her academic reputation is on the line being here. But the evidence we've gathered convinced her to join us. Movement at the cave entrance, just like yesterday. The specialized equipment displays heat signatures beyond the tree line, massive forms moving with deliberate purpose, too large for any known wildlife in these mountains. The forest around us breathes with evening sounds, crickets chirping, leaves rustling, masking our presence as we maintain our observation blind. The structure we discovered yesterday defies conventional explanation. Branches meticulously woven into walls, stones arranged in patterns suggesting tool use, animal bones arranged not randomly but with evident purpose. Not the work of bears or known predators, not human construction either. Something in between. My hands tremble slightly as I document everything through the camera lens. The footage feels heavier than its physical weight, evidence that will either validate us or destroy our credibility forever. Kevin, our tracking expert, motions for silence as he points to fresh prints in the mud, 18 inches long, 5 distinct toe impressions, a stride length impossible for human legs. The same prints we found near Jim's recovered remains, where the medical examiner's report sits in my backpack with its disturbing conclusion. Cause of death: massive trauma consistent with falling from significant height. Secondary findings: unknown hair samples embedded in wound sites, not matching any cataloged species. "They're watching us," breathes Sarah, her voice barely audible. "Look at the ridgeline." My camera pans slowly upward, capturing what we all see but struggle to comprehend. 3 massive silhouettes against the dimming sky, perfectly still, observing our observation. Not hiding, studying. The realization sends ice through my veins. We came looking for evidence of their existence. They're assessing our intentions. The communication attempt happens at dusk. We've theorized they might be territorial, might be protective, might be dangerous, but nothing prepares us for the deliberate arrangement of objects placed just beyond our camp perimeter during a brief period when we all moved to examine tracks. Jim's hunting knife, his compass, and, between them, something impossible. Crude drawings in the dirt showing our helicopter, matching marks we found in cave walls miles away. Not random, A message. Communication. Dr. Thornton moves slowly toward the arrangement, her scientific skepticism visibly crumbling as she kneels to document what cannot exist according to established primatology. "This changes everything," she whispers, her voice cracking with emotion. "This isn't just an undiscovered species. This is an undiscovered intelligence." My camera captures the moment her hand hovers over the drawings, trembling with the weight of scientific revolution. In the distance, wood knocks against wood in rhythmic patterns too precise to be accidental, answering sounds coming from multiple directions surrounding our position. The decision we make next will determine everything. Retreat with our evidence or attempt first contact with a species that has remained hidden from human documentation while existing alongside us, watching us, understanding us. The sun sinks below the mountain ridge. Night falls in the forest where we are not alone. Have never been alone? My finger remains steady on the record button, documenting the moment humanity's understanding of its place in the natural world changes forever. 1 year after our helicopter footage captured worldwide attention, I stand before the United Nations Environmental Council presenting our findings. The journey from viral video to international scientific recognition stretches behind us. 12 months of expeditions, evidence collection, peer reviews, and gradual acceptance of what we discovered in those remote mountains. The auditorium falls silent as I play the culmination of our work. Clear footage of peaceful interaction with the beings now officially classified as Homo silvestris, forest people. The species has been documented across 14 wilderness regions spanning 3 continents, I explain, my voice steady despite the magnitude of our discoveries. Their social structures, communication methods, and technological capabilities suggest an intelligence that evolved parallel to our own, adapted specifically to avoid human detection. On screen, footage plays of the breakthrough moment 6 months ago. Dr. Thornton, sitting cross-legged in a forest clearing while 3 Homo silvestris individuals demonstrate tool creation, their massive hands surprisingly deft at manipulating materials. The debate about Jim Bennett's death has been resolved through careful study. The forest people didn't kill him. They found him after a fatal fall and were transporting his body when our helicopter spotted them. Further encounters revealed a complex belief system surrounding death and a ritual of returning the deceased to open sky, a practice we inadvertently interrupted that day. The gestures we initially interpreted as aggression were actually signals of ceremonial respect. Global protection measures now extend across all identified habitats, with observation protocols developed collaboratively between scientists and indigenous communities who have maintained knowledge of these beings through stories dismissed as myths by colonial science. The indigenous elders who approached us after our 3rd expedition shared centuries of accumulated wisdom about respectful coexistence, knowledge that proved essential to establishing peaceful contact. The discovery challenges not just our understanding of evolutionary biology, I continue, but our conception of what it means to share this planet. The forest people have observed our civilization's expansion, adapted to our presence, and chosen concealment over conflict. Their existence raises profound questions about our stewardship of wild spaces and our definition of intelligence itself. The worldwide fascination with the forest people has transformed public attitudes toward wilderness preservation. Tourism regulations in sensitive areas have been strengthened. Funding for habitat conservation has tripled. The revelation that these intelligent beings have been silently watching our environmental destruction has created uncomfortable self-reflection across human societies. My testimony concludes with the most important lesson from our journey. Their existence remained hidden not through lack of evidence, but through our unwillingness to see what didn't fit our understanding of the world. How many other wonders might we discover if we approach the unknown with humility rather than dismissal? As I leave the council chambers, messages flood my phone from research teams across the world reporting new evidence, new sightings, new understanding. Our helicopter flight that evening didn't just change our lives, it opened humanity's eyes to companions who have been here all along, watching from the forest edges as we built our civilization, waiting for the moment we might be ready to acknowledge their existence with respect rather than exploitation. The forest people remain mostly hidden, appearing on their terms, accepting our documented presence but maintaining their independence. Their continued preference for their own society over ours perhaps offers the most profound insight of all, a reminder that human civilization, for all its technological marvels, represents just one possible path for intelligent life on Earth. In the depths of forests we once thought fully explored, another intelligence has been walking a different path all along,